Okay, this is Earl, and as promised, I'm going to go ahead and try to do a little bit of an overview of the Tenacious Baseball League version 2.0, the 2016 season. We are, as you can see, 223 here at the bottom of the screen. Once you have this selected, it'll tell you 223 games played. I posted game 223, Toronto and Pittsburgh, earlier today, and if you are interested in watching that and don't want to know what happened, I would suggest you go ahead and turn this off and go back and watch that before talking about it, because you'll probably figure out, or I may even mention what happened. So just be warned. Let's go in and take a look at the league standings. The Mets are the class of the league so far, and they've been that way pretty much from the get-go. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the NL standings from 2016 just so we can go ahead and do some comparison shopping here. And let me tell you something. There is nothing like the joy that you get when you buy a product that has McAfee built on it, and then you decide not to renew it, and then it just constantly spams you every day. My word, I've got to click on this at least twice a day, it seems like, telling it to leave me alone. They're just relentless bloodsuckers. Anyway, the Mets, 87 and 75 in 2016, and you can see this thing decides to pop up because it hears me going off on somebody. And you know what, we got to do something here to throw them off. I'm sounding real curmudgeon-like, I'm sure. So they were 53%, 53.7, 64.4 in our league, so they're overachieving. They've had their slight skid, and now they've picked it back up again, and I guess that maybe shows you that the league that they are playing in right now is probably a little easier than what it was in real life when they had to play the East Division so many times in comparison. Toronto in second place. Let's skip over to them, to the Padres. As you can see, the Padres were 68 and 94 in 2016. 42% winning percentage. They are at 56, almost 57%. So they are kicking it. Now, they may drop out of it. I've been waiting for them to do that. They have had their skid, a little bit of a skid, but they've also been doing okay. So I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Marlins a little below 500. They're a little above 500 in ours, pretty close. Pittsburgh really close, 47.7% in our sim, 48.4. So pretty dang close. If we go over to the AL, we'll get to Toronto, who did lose to Pittsburgh in that game earlier. I warned you I was going to say something about it. So Toronto did lose. They were 54.9 along with Baltimore. So these two teams tied, and they had that one-game playoff that was a classic. Toronto edging them out right at the moment, but they aren't too far ahead of that 55% clip. They're probably within the statistical deviation or standard deviation, whatever you want to call it. Baltimore for sure. Toronto, yeah, that may be a little high. But Detroit, they're underperforming. 44% versus they were pretty solidly in the black in real life. So not sure why that is. Maybe because they don't get to beat up on the White Sox, the Royals, and the Twins all the time. The Twins, 35%. Man, that's horrible. But look at the Angels, 31%. They actually are much worse than the Athletics, who they overcame in the standings in 2016. The Athletics doing pretty decent, but they're not too far off on their win percentage, 43% versus 44%. So, okay. I mean, some of the things that dictate are player usage. We've had some injury stuff. I've tried, as we've gone on in the season, to have the injuries play less and less of a role. Let's just go ahead and look at our... Oh, wait, no, I want to go back to the league stats, and we'll get to the league leaders. Trout, 362 batting average. Not going to win a Triple Crown. He's not even on the home run list. He's second, and he's very close in runs batted in, though, with Neil Walker. And he's down the list on the doubles a little bit, but he's, within... If he has a couple games where he has 2 or 3 doubles for whatever reason, he might start getting up towards what Machado is at. Your home run rates, you got Chris Davis and Edwin Encarnacion, which is funny because if I show you in real life, I'm trying not to show you because the last time I did a bunch of this kind of stuff, it crashed my machine, so I'm just kind of trying to keep it shorter here. They actually finished on, I think it was 42, so they are right at their pace from 2016. Not right at their pace, they're actually at the total. So 14 times 3, 42. So any more home runs from those two guys, and that's pretty good for Encarnacion. It's actually, he's ahead of schedule probably because I've had to manage his plate appearances because he played a lot of DH in that season, and in order to get him incorporated, I've had to diminish the role of Smoke. So he's been basically kind of splitting times at first base. If Encarnacion or Smoke had played a different position than first, I probably would have been able to use Encarnacion a little bit more in another position, try to get both those guys in the same lineup. As it is, it's kind of tough. I think I may have used Encarnacion once at third base with the highest rating possible, and I think I limited that to one time maybe. I mean, look at Trout, 42 walks versus 26 is the closest. I mean, it's insane. 5 intentional, so I did give him 5 of them that were just free passes. Chris Davis for 74 strikeouts, so he's on pace for 220. In real life, probably, or maybe 230, depending on how many he has in the last 3 series. Trout with 13 stolen bases. Let's see, your on-base percentage, Trout up at 495. I mean, he's going to be pretty good as far as OPS if that's listed here. I don't see OPS, but that's quite all right. You can pretty much figure it out. 495 and 601. That's north of 1, so he's in pretty good shape. Of course, Encarnacion, I think he might be higher. It's close, neck and neck. I think he is. Anyway. Well, this is it. I guess total average is these two guys combined. So Trout, I guess, just gets him. 601, total average, that's got to be something else, right? Because that's not the sum of those two. It's not the sum of 495. And maybe that also factors in, I don't know, maybe total bait. No, I don't know. It's okay. Let's take a look at our, Syndergaard with 6 wins, 100%. As far as his winning percentage, hasn't lost a game. I mean, when you pitch a 148 ERA, you've got a pretty good chance of doing that. So Fernandez has pitched more innings than him, but I'm going to have to see. I think maybe Syndergaard gets one more start. Fernandez probably gets 2. I have tried to manage usage as much as possible to keep them on track. So that's where it is. Saves, where are we at? We've got Osuna and Britton real close together, 15 and 14. And that's probably pretty good. Strikeouts, Jose Fernandez, 87 versus Verlander, 76. So that's where things stand at the moment. View HTML files, maybe daily reports. Maybe we can do this. Yeah, so this is what the schedule looks like for the next games. Whoops. Can I expand it at all? No. So here you go with like the new newspaper style standings. We've got Baltimore at San Diego. That's the end of that series. Then Baltimore will they will return home to face the Angels. So you got the Angels coming up from Miami to play in Baltimore. You got Detroit, who just finished up a series at Citi Field. They're going to go across town to the Bronx to face Tanaka and the Yankees. It might actually be Sessa, not Tanaka, and I'm not sure if it's Verlander. The game calculates these things. I don't really do that at the moment. I go by my own rotation, trying to make sure I get guys the right level of usage. And then Pittsburgh at Miami. That's a pretty big series. That's two teams that Pittsburgh's just out. They're a few games out. If they could sweep Miami, maybe, and see San Diego drop, maybe they have a chance. But it's probably going to be, if San Diego drops, it'll probably be the Marlins. So I'm going to go ahead and end that here because I have already been burned a couple times. And so I'm just going to cut it off here. So that's where things stand. I'm going to keep working through this, play some games on the channel here, but also do a number of things like that offline because it just helps to speed through it. I want to try and have this finished by the end of September. I think if I do 2 games a day, average, it'll be possible. I mean, if I bump it into October a couple of days or something, it's not the end of the world. But and we will do a playoffs, top 4 teams. So anyway, so 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. But I might take a little break from it. If you could hit the like button if you like getting these this kind of recap or review. If you have any questions about what I covered, just let me know. I'm always open to answering some questions about the way things are carried out and any thoughts that you might have on things that you might be interested in as far as how this league is carried out. So see you soon here on the channel. Thanks a lot for